After last week's fecal festival that some people persist in trying to call a presidential debate.
But I have,
I've seen you swing. I know you swing.
Let's
not act like children.
President Trump, we're going to turn.
Let's not act like children.
There's been plenty of analysis of just how badly Joe Biden hurt his chances to continue pretending to be president for another term. The media is reeling, having been exposed as fraudulent hacks, given that they have spent the better part of 4 years criminally covering for a political party's efforts to keep the nuclear arsenal of the United States of America under the watchful eye of a man who has obvious dementia.
Look, if we finally beat Medicare.
Despite gracing the cover of Vogue magazine, which only puts her about 36 cover shoots short of Michelle Obama, and also one more than the supermodel who preceded her, undoubtedly no bias there, just an oversight, Jill Biden has been exposed as apparently being married to power rather than to Joe.
I saw in him then the same character that I see in him today. And even though he has faced unimaginable tragedies, his optimism is undone. Joe, you did such a great job. You answered every question.
But of all of the fallout, without question, the most entertaining of the responses come from those who want to toss Biden onto the Monty Python cart.
Here's your ninepence. I'm not dead.
Yeah, he says he's not dead.
Yes, he is. I'm not.
He isn't?
Well, he will be soon. He's very ill.
Oh, they want to chuck him there while simultaneously lecturing all of us about how much we owe him for the last 4 years. You remember Andrew Yang, the guy that ran for president against Biden in 2020? Here he is letting everyone know that if Joe Biden does step aside, he would immediately go down as one of the greatest presidents of all time, and his legacy would be one of personal triumph and nobility. And then there's Bill Kristol, the guy who works for some outfit called The Bulwark, cosplaying as a person that people listen to for expert political advice. Here's his take.
He's been a good president. We owe him a lot for what he did in 2020 in defeating Donald Trump, and we owe him a lot for being a good president for 3.5 years.
Okay, honestly, I don't know what they're going to do with Joe, but the dementia and the slurred speech and the incoherence is maybe the most and only endearing part of the guy. You can feel sorry for him when it comes to things like that that are out of his control. But the political legacy of Joe Biden? Forget the lifetime of bad ideas and simply realize how destructive the last 4 years alone have been. Housing prices are now higher by 47% than they were in 2020. 10 million unvetted illegal immigrants have entered the country, none vaccinated for diseases, with a not insignificant number now raping and murdering Americans with horrific regularity. We have 2 simultaneous wars that are costing us taxpayers about $70 billion a year. The LGBT movement has jumped the shark with the normalization of child predation that is now a reality.
Is it legal for nudity to be presented in front of kids?
Nudity is legal, yeah.
The guy who says he launched his campaign because of neo-Nazis marching in Charlottesville during Trump's time? Well, now today, angry anti-Semites are marching proudly in the streets of many cities, blocking traffic all over the country, and even commanding positions in his own political party. And speaking of his party, he has allowed this kind of nincompoopery to come to define the modern progressive movement.
Where the threat to children actually is the private, patriarchal, nuclear household.
Crime is crippling the nation's biggest cities, homelessness is rampant, a fentanyl crisis is now getting worse by the second, and to top it all off, he's put this special lady just one heartbeat away from the presidency.
The real, ain't you? You know. Yeah, girl, I'm out here in these streets. And let me tell you, you're right, Taraji.
So look, with all due respect to Mr. Yang and Mr. Kristol, I can't say that I think simply not being Donald Trump can overcome a resume like that to send a guy like this.
Homeland Security Secretary, I'm not sure going to do show away.
To, well, there.